What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and this is a TV review. It's the first 4 episodes of How to Die Alone, the new Hulu show. It's a comedy, and it's on Hulu with audio description. It's an Onyx Collective production, so it sounds about the same as the other things that Onyx Collective has done for Hulu in terms of audio description. I don't know that I've ever been like super excited about the narration that's been done for that kind of stuff. So I'm realizing that I'm like, I keep hearing Onyx Collective, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, they're okay, but I always feel like there could be more. Here I feel like it's just it's tough because they do sitcom, like not only sitcoms, they do comedies, and sometimes there's just a lot of dialogue and you don't get audio description for a while, so you kind of end up missing things and you're like, well, I don't know what that was. But at the same time, I don't want to be too hard because it's like I don't know where I would have put the audio description. I look for gaps where it's like, well, you didn't use that, and that could have been something, and I was missing stuff. I didn't really feel that here, so I'd have to really sit down and watch the episode, which is a lot of work. To just keep watching the same thing over and over and really try to break it down and figure out what is actually, is there a way to make this any better than it actually is? Or is it just structurally, this is the best it can be? That's the question, and I don't know the answer to. So, after watching this, but I do feel like it doesn't quite fill the cup like some others. So the story revolves around a main character, a woman who is basically alone and in the world, in life, and she has an incident where something happens. I don't want to like spoil the whole thing, but I have to. It's 4 episodes, and this is sort of like the catalyst for the entire series. So she dies for like 30 minutes. She has an incident in her house, and something happens that causes her to temporarily die, and she wakes up in the hospital, and she sort of reevaluates her life and how she got here and things that led her to this point, and why, when she really only has like one contact, they're like, well, we can't release you without an emergency contact, and she really only has one, and then they don't pick up. And so she starts sort of like evaluating her life. She is in this room with this older lady who is like near death, and is talking to her about, her life and her experiences, and giving her life advice shortly before, she leaves the mortal coil. And it's all somewhat triggering. I related way too much to this character in odd ways. I related, when there's a series about a 30-something Black female and I can see myself in her, it made me want to reevaluate my life. I was like, wait a minute, what? Okay, oh man, I could see that would be me. That's definitely, oh, I've done that. Oh shit. Like there were moments throughout the 4 episodes where I was like, oh God. But there are also moments that kept me apart from her. And just that didn't work for me. But there were things that were like totally relatable, and things that I was like, okay, well, that's you. That's just you then. That's not me. Thank you. Like, so I appreciated both of it. But yeah, I was oddly like really started getting introspective about my own life and being like, is this me? Is this like, and I'm wondering like how many other people are going to have that same sort of experience, because I think a lot of people who watch a lot of TV and would watch a streaming show like this probably are going to see a lot of themselves in this as well. So it's hard because I saw 4 episodes and I don't want to spoil anything beyond like the catalyst of what is this show about? well, this is what the show is about. Did I kind of spoil a little bit of the first episode for you? Yes. But unfortunately, that is actually what the show is about. Like, that is the catalyst that starts for her life, and she starts looking at doing things differently, like applying for different jobs, reevaluating her dating life, thinking about taking a trip, getting on a plane for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything comes out of this. So to not talk about it doesn't make any sense, because then it's like, what is the show about? Well, I can't tell you. It would ruin part of the first episode. So, yeah. I am looking forward to more episodes. I think there's something here. I'm also looking forward to more introspection on the show, like self being like, how much of myself is in this character? How much am I seeing myself as a 30-something Black woman? Because I don't normally see myself as that, but there are things about her and her choices and stuff where I'm like, yep, okay. She has a gay best friend that appears quite often, easily probably the number 2 character in the series. And he's entertaining, but he has his own things. And then he also, definitely within the first 4 episodes, I was like, he needs to do some self journey discovery as well, for entirely different reasons. But I definitely saw like the codependency in their relationship. And I think, especially when she starts getting her life together just a little bit more, and starts trying to fix things, he also starts being like, well, it's always about you. Like, there were some things that he was throwing at her where I was like, are you trying to make this character an ass? Because she's like, they're talking about things and he's like, it's been a month. You can't just keep using that. And it's like, yeah, she died like within the month. Like, it has only been a month, and dying is kind of a big thing. So the fact that she's still talking about it and letting her life kind of be guided by that, I mean, there are people who lose other people and they talk about that for years and don't get over that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but when you personally are dead for 3 minutes, like, I feel like a month is an easy amount of time to be able to let that sort of like linger throughout your life. I don't think that that's outside of the question at all. So the fact that he is trying to throw that at her, and I'm like, are we not supposed to like you anymore? Like, what? I don't understand your character. And then I realized it's like a lot of codependency, and perhaps he likes her when he's the only one who can fix her because he's her only friend. Stuff like that. So I'm really interested to see how the show develops. I think it's interesting. This show is very intriguing. I love that Hulu has picked up a show like this to see where it goes in the journey. It's interesting that they only dropped 4 episodes, because I don't know that it's not like this is a show that's structured in a way where I think you can create a water cooler moment for it. I don't know that there are people who are going to watch those 4 episodes and then try to, and that's the thing about episodic and what they're starting to realize about streaming shows versus binge watching other shows, is that streaming shows often they can't create a water cooler moment because not everybody binge watches. And so a lot of times people can't talk about the show because they're all at different points in the show. So you get with your friends group and you're like, oh my God, did you see? And they're like, shut up. I'm only on episode 2. And you're like, well, I'm on episode 5. It's just like, and then you can't talk, and it's tough. So, and that's the new world that streaming is under. So I think they're trying to like manage the episodes, but it's so interesting that they did it with this show, because they don't do it with every show. And I find that interesting that this show, which didn't seem really high profile to me, they're trying to kind of generate some sort of a water cooler moment with. So I would say check it out. I think it's an interesting show. I don't think it's perfect, but I think it's something that could be. it could get there. I don't need the interviews at the top of the episodes. The little like people on the street thing that it does at the beginning of the episodes, that's obnoxious, and I don't need that. We can stop doing that. Anytime you want to stop doing those things, fine by me. I do not need that. It's unnecessary for the show. It makes no sense. And the show is fine. It stands on its own. You don't need commentary from people who I guess are real people. And they're like, yeah, so I remember this one time when I don't need that. Nobody needs that. It's dumb. Let it go. I know you think that that's like your thing, like your vibe in the show, but it doesn't, it does nothing for you. Like as a show, it doesn't make, it's just this thing that happens at the beginning of the episode. And then we get into the episode we actually want to watch. Just let the show speak for itself. Don't let other people speak for the show ahead of it. It's a very odd choice. So it has this thing before every episode where like just random people offer their thoughts on life. And you're like, I don't even know who these people are, and I don't know why I should care. So it's not even like Everybody Hates Chris, where like Chris Rock narrates like part of his life before the episode begins. He's like, well, I remember this one time when it's not that. It's just random people. What? Okay. Cool. It doesn't work. No. So other than that, I like the show. I think it has a future. And we'll see where it goes. But like there are life choices that she makes where I'm just like, no. I'm in. I feel you, but no. I'd love to be able to talk about those, but those are like episode 3 and 4 choices, and it gets a little bit deep for this episode. But yeah, so that's it. I'm giving How to Die Alone a B+. I saw a lot of myself in her, which is scary, but also there are choices that she makes where I'm like, well, I definitely never would have made that choice. So she's independent enough of me that I'm able to step back. But it's weird when you relate to a character that is definitively not you. Spoiler alert, I'm, again, not a 30-something Black woman. Not who I am as a person. But we definitely share things in common. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.